Hello, everyone. I'm here with Kaylee paired up, Valerie Johnson paired up with her too, and I'm Kara, and we are going to talk about social media features that people don't use enough. And we're all guilty of it. We've heard of them, we've heard other people using them, and we're like, and you just kind of, like a bad social media post, you keep scrolling.
Yep.
And so we're just going to kind of talk and break down a couple of those. We've got a few little points that we want to discuss. So we're going to do this in under 10 minutes to help everybody out so maybe they can learn something. So, Kaylee, this is probably pretty common because unless you're entrenched in it, you're not going to know everything.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of these things are overlooked that are just simply the easy things to do, but they take time. And like what most companies or businesses that have social media now, they have somebody who already has another job doing it. And you just don't have the time to nurture and use some of these features that just take your social media to the next level with customer service and everything like that. So very easy ways to elevate, but are the first ones to be overlooked, basically.
Okay, well, I'm going to pop this up here. So one of the things that I thought was interesting in reading this, in this article that, we're kind of really diving into is stuff that is really important, right? Like sales and growth, account insights, customer care and communication, collab features. So let's kind of talk at first about sales and growth.
Yeah. So, I mean, you want to, when it comes to your product, okay, so if you're selling something, you want your brand to be out there consistently, and you want to be able to be shared by other people to then continue to grow. So just consistently being on social media, if you're not doing that, then you are just missing the opportunity for organic sales, whether you put ad dollars behind it or not, or growth. Valerie, what do you think?
Yeah, and this kind of hits to like the next bullet point. Just like using your account insights, like that basically shows you which posts you have created that you've gotten the most likes, and that's clearly going to be what your audience wants to see. So use that as a template and as a guide to then create more posts in the future, kind of similar, just like that.
Yeah, and if you're not using the commerce section of those apps, whether it's TikTok shopping or Facebook commerce or Instagram shops, like you need to be doing that. And I'm working with clients that we have right now and taking it a step further, not even just having your commerce page or your shop on Facebook or shop on Instagram, but also allowing people to check out on the actual platforms itself to help get that sale to go through instead of sending them to your website, which is great. But then how many of us are guilty of going to the website, adding more to our carts, and then being like, I don't need any of this, and just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I am so guilty of that. I'm like, oh, they get me every time. And then I'm like, and then I'm like, no, there's too much in my cart. I'm just going to abandon ship. So, that's kind of a thing that we're working with our clients right now to do. And that's something that can really elevate your sales and your growth if you do as we go into 2023.
Do you feel like people read their insights enough, and do they know where to find insights? And if not, can you tell us some of the places?
Yeah, I don't think people look at their insights enough. I think they look at them and they think, oh, this is great. We're growing. This is awesome. Because there's a lot to unpack. We go through our insights once a month, once every couple of months with our clients. And a lot of the times, you get into the weeds is essentially what a good way to put it. And they're like, okay, do I have more followers? Well, there's more to look at than just that. You really, getting more followers is important, but what you really need to be looking at is what's working and what's not working. Okay, what are you getting engagement on? What are the posts that are getting the most engagement and why? Figuring that out and then trying to make more content that kind of tailors the same way. What do you think, Valerie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just had a meeting with a client. I mean, last week we kind of just like went over their analytics, and it just showed that like they're getting more reach with their reels, and they're getting more likes with their reels than they are with still images and still graphics. So we kind of just like reworked our strategy, and basically now we're just doing 3 reels a week instead of 5 posts a week. And therefore we're just giving the people what they want, and that's what you want to do.
Yeah, so that's why it's really important to look at those insights, because you learn a lot and you want to work smarter, not harder,
Mm-hmm. The collab feature is something that I learned through you, Kaylee, and it's something that's really actually pretty easy, but it does sometimes take a couple of extra steps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a step up from tagging. So you take tagging to the next level. So basically what a collab is add a collaborator in the tagging process. So when you post something, when you go to tag, there's an invite collaborate, and you're thinking, what is that? Well, basically the person that you invite or the business that you invite as a collaborator, if they accept, it will show up in their feed like they posted it. So then you're not only getting your followers, but you're tapping into an audience that that hasn't seen you before, or maybe has seen you, but now that gives them that extra step to go and follow you. So a collaborator is just like gold, in my opinion. And yes, as you said, Kara, there's a couple extra steps. So a lot of the time communicating with that business or that person and saying, hey, I'm going to add you as a collaborator. Can you please accept? Because it's not an alert. Like, I mean, when we do one for Paired Up and we add me, my Kaylee D on Instagram as a collaborator, it does not alert me that you've added me as a collaborator. So I have to go in there and I have to look for it and then find it. So a lot of the times you just have to make sure that you're communicating with the other people. And sometimes if you can't communicate, you just do it and hope that they see it and hope that they accept it. And but always try to find a way to add someone or some business to that collaboration.
So a couple other things that I don't know that people are familiar with that I want to pop up that we can just briefly touch on. Some extra fun features, I've dubbed them. Instagram guides, which I understand is like a curation of published posts featured separately on your profile, kind of like story highlights. Do you feel like people are taking advantage of this, or even story highlights in general? What do you recommend putting in there?
Yeah, so I don't think that they are utilizing that. Again, another step in the process. And I mean, you can barely get most businesses to post 5 days a week, let alone doing the extra steps of the stories and the guides. But I do think stories especially and guides are going to be really important, because it's kind of like setting up your page to highlight what you want. So instead of having the algorithm in control of it, it allows you to highlight what you want very easily for someone who's coming to your page to see. And then, of course, with stories, anytime you post a new story, it puts you right at the front on your followers' story feed. So, you always want to kind of position yourself there to where you're being seen. And that's one way to do it.
And I think I just think a lot of people, they don't use stories enough. I think they just kind of like overlook it. They just post it and then they always forget to like add it to the story. I think adding it to the story and then using it in your highlights in your profile, it's kind of like your business resume right there, because how I view Instagram and other social media platforms now is basically like a second search engine. So like if I'm going to a new restaurant, that I'm going to look it up on Instagram and I'm going to see what the food looks like before I order anything. So think of like kind of like your profile as like basically your resume for your business.
Great way to put it. Okay, this next one that I have here, LinkedIn showcase pages. So this helps brands that cater to multiple segments or offer different type of products target audience segments with dedicated showcase pages. So really kind of taking your LinkedIn page up a notch.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same exact thing. Again, like I'm so happy to be seeing some of these other platforms kind of following what I love about YouTube. Essentially, by where I feel like YouTube is like your website, you can set it up to highlight again what it is about your brand or your business that you want to highlight. And so that's the same exact thing with LinkedIn, taking it to the next level and setting everything up to where it's easy to find. Okay, here's this playlist, here's this. It's highlighting this about our business, because we're not one thing. Nobody is just one thing. Whether you're a creator, whether you're a business, an influencer, you have several layers. So you want to be able to highlight those so they don't get buried. And so I love seeing some of these platforms giving more creative ways for people to do that.
Okay, I've got one more here for you. Facebook Watch Party. Watch Party enables you to stream at a certain time of your choosing in a Facebook group. It's pre-recorded and you can engage as people watch the video. Honestly, I do not hear about this much at all, but it was something that I thought I wanted to mention because it sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, again, YouTube. YouTube does this as well, where you can live stream and you can engage with people while you do it. So it's just another step. Again, these are I don't necessarily think this is right for everyone. And this takes a lot of time and effort. So if there's a premiere, or you're launching a new product, or it's like a big moment, you may want to think about doing something like this. But if not, that's just, it's a nice little highlight to use on Facebook, but not necessarily best for everyone.
So what do you suggest, both of you, as we wrap this video up, if someone is curious about a feature that they're scared of, what do you tell people? What do you encourage people to do? Or what can they do? Because I think avoidance, as we all know in life, is not a good idea.
There is no, this is what I tell people. There is no bad content. There is no bad, like, you could jump on and talk to them about whatever and be done. Like, I'm here sipping my smoothie. Like, there is nothing bad. Like, just be authentic to who you are, be authentic to what your brand is, and then don't overthink anything else. As I've said multiple times, there is a man who has his cows eating grass on YouTube and makes $1 million a year. So let's not overthink this. And that's what I tell clients. That's what I tell anybody who reaches out to me for any advice. Just try things. You'll find what works for your brand. You'll find what works for you and what you excel in and feel comfortable with.
Valerie,
Yeah,
piggyback on?
I think Kaylee nailed it. I mean, just don't overthink it. Just do it. And even if like it's just like you're picking up your house or something, people will watch, and that's like kind of content that people like. It's kind of like TikTok, where it's just like random stuff. So people don't care; they just want to see.
Yeah, I started a YouTube channel for Mila, my daughter, back when she was a baby, and I don't post on it much, but I posted on it during COVID, where we just set up this board where we have all these magnets, and it literally is a video of watching her put the magnets on, and it's got lots of views. You know,
wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
maybe there's some therapeutic about watching a little baby put magnets on the wall. I don't know. Again, just reiterates, don't overthink it.
Okay, well, if anyone has any questions or comments about different features on your social media, please leave them below. And we're monitoring these, and we'll definitely be sure to respond and help you out. And also, Kaylee, I've got to mention the wrap here. What can folks do if they want any help?
Yeah, so you can find us on any social platform, of course, right? And so you can message us there, or go to our website, pairedupsocial.com. There's a contact us button. Send us an email. We will get with you as soon as we can. And yeah, we're always there. We got several products that you can look at as well, if we can maybe help you. And just reach out to us, because there's no one size fits all for social media approach for a business. So I like to talk to people and get a gauge of what they want and what they're thinking. And then we can figure out something that works.
Okay, well, I guess I'll see you guys at the next watch party.
All right.
Bye.